Hi everyone, welcome to the Mama Elephant YouTube channel. This is Rena. Today we're going to go over a new stamp set, a new Creative Cuts set that is new for the February 15th release. First up, we have a new stamp set illustrated by Ada Zamora. This set is called Family Time. It's in the same vein as the Fuzzy Hug set that was released last holiday. And I love how these little animals have a little pairing with their little baby. And this has also different sentiments for your mom, your dad, or your kids. It also has a couple of generic sentiments too, like big hugs and moi for just general cards also. Here's a look at the coordinating dies for Family Time. Next up, we have Display a Card, a new Creative Cuts set. This set will allow your card to stand up very easily. It also has different layering elements and different little elements that you can use on your card, like clouds, trees, and you can also use the clouds as bushes as well. Here's what the Display a Card looks like. As you can see, it can easily stand up so your recipient can display it. You can also cover the back using a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card front. This Display a Card is sized standard sized. You can also cover the back with a card base and have your Display a Card open up if you would like. I also recommend using 80-pound cardstock to put your Display a Card together. Here's a look at the largest die. You'll want to cut 2 of them out. I like to save that inside piece to cut out the different elements because it fits perfectly. And you can see there that you can cut all the elements on that inside piece of the Display a Card. So you'll be able to utilize all of that cardstock and not have any waste. There's a look at that cloud, and it has a little tab, and you can attach that cloud to the side. You can also make it trees and attach it to the trunk. And then also there is a tiny cloud included. So you can use all of these different elements as trees, as clouds, as shrubs, whatever you'd like them to be. Here's a piece that makes hills, and you can put elements on there like different stamp sets. I'm going to be using Family Time along with this. So let's start putting it together. I'm just scoring, and you'll see that there's score lines after you die cut. And I'm just following where it's scored on the die cut. My lighting is bright so you can't see it, but I can see it in real life. So you'll want 2 of those together. And then after you've scored these, you'll want to go ahead and fold it. It's a mountain valley type fold. So I'm going to start with this one. And again, I recommend using 80-pound cardstock. You're going to be inserting elements inside those mountain and valley folds. So the thinner paper you use, the better. Whenever you use like a heavier cardstock, like a 110, on an interactive card, it makes it a little bit tighter for the element. So again, I recommend 80-pound paper. So you'll see there that we have a mountain valley fold and the other one, and that's how it's going to come together. So I'm going to take that end tab piece, and then I'm going to kind of see how it fits in with my other piece so I know which side to put the adhesive on. I'm going to put the adhesive on that flap, and then I will attach the other panel on top of it, and it's the panel that doesn't have the mountain valley fold. And then on the other side, you'll see that that's how we're going to end up putting the whole piece together. I'm not going to close that yet because I want to put my landscape elements inside. So as you can see, it will fold in. So you want to make sure that you have enough allowance, and based on the thickness of your paper, you might need more allowance. So I'm going to put lines here where the pre-scoring is on the die. And because my paper is 80 pound, there's a little bit of clearance that I need. So I'm going to put a little line and I'm going to put it toward the middle, and that's where I'm going to score. That'll make it to where your piece won't bow. And again, if you end up using a thicker paper, you'll want to make more of an allowance. If you score it at the mark exactly, it will land on the fold and your piece won't fold nicely. So I'm just doing my score marks here. I just like to do it on the inside of that score line, and then I'm going to score it, and then I'll put it on the inside and you'll see what I'm talking about. Do you see where it folds in? You want to make sure when you're adhering this piece that the piece is on the inside of that fold, so that way when all the pieces together, it's not hindering on that landscape piece. So I'm adhering it and I'm making sure that my folds are to the inside, that they're landing on the inside of that mountain valley fold. So I'm going to use 2 hills for this one. So I'm going to attach the other one, and I'm going to do it on the other fold. So there's 2 folds that you could put landscapes on. So I'm just going to use both. And so I'm making sure I'm adhering it to the inside of where it folds, so when you fold it together, it doesn't hinder it. I hope that makes sense. Once you make it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm ready to close it up. I've put some adhesive, and there is my display a card. Remember, if you want to cover the back, you'll want to cut out a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panel to cover the back, or you can use a card base if you want your display a panel to open up like a card. So let's start coloring. I am using Copic markers today. I've stamped out my images using Memento Rich Cocoa ink on Neenah 110 pound paper. So we're going to first start off with this adorable koala. This is my favorite image in the stamp set. It is so cute. I decided to use a cool brown, so I'm using the E70s for this, and I really just wanted to take my time and color this image. Sometimes I feel like coloring fast, so I'll even do just 1 marker, but sometimes I like to take my time. I really love these Ada Zamora images, and I just wanted to make it more realistic than I normally color. So I've started off with just a layer of the lightest color, which is E70, and then I'm moving on to the E71, which is the next darkest color, and I'm kind of filling in where I think the shading will be. And my new thing that I'm trying is I'm trying to make stuff look rounded, so that's why I'm trying to make these rounded shapes in my coloring. And then after I do the medium color, I'll just do a slight touch of the darker color on the sides, and then I'll blend out with the medium and then blend out with the lightest again. So I always like to add a touch of pink to the animals that I color, just to add a little bit of warmth. I didn't want his belly to be super brown, so I'm adding like a light wash of pink before I add my brown colors. So I had a lot of fun coloring this koala. I think he's so super adorable. I love the little baby on top. It's just so cute. So next up is the bunny. These are the colors that I use. I wanted my bunny to be kind of like a light brown, and I wanted the little baby to be pink. And this is just so cute. I tend to have a heavy hand, so I'm trying to kind of keep the insides of the face and the belly white. and you just want to flick because it's really easy to overdo it, and it's really easy for me to have a heavy hand, so I have to be very mindful. And when the image is a good size, but with the little nooks and crannies, I'm just doing tiny bits of shading, just so I'm not overtaking the whole bunny with a darker color. So I'm just barely touching where I want the shading to be, and then I'm using the lighter colors to blend it out. And I'm kind of making sure that I have white areas on the belly and the face, so there's just some contrast. I would also suggest looking at Ada Zamora's Instagram for inspiration. I love seeing how she colors her images. Here is a look at the completed colored image. I just love the little baby bunny. Next up, we're going to color in the deer. If I had to color this over again, I would have colored it darker. I didn't look at Ada Zamora's Instagram before I colored these, because I just kind of wanted to color them on my own and see what I came up with. But she colors it a little bit darker, and then she has little white spots in the butt area, and it's so adorable. So I think next time I'm going to color this image, I'm going to do it darker so I can put white spots in the bum area. I also wanted to make sure there was like delineation between the baby and the mom. So I'm just putting a lot of shading around that baby deer. So very similar coloring to the bunny. I wanted the tails white, but I ended up coloring them a dark brown because I wanted there to be some contrast in the picture. But next time I'm going to do white tails. To finish it off, I'm going to do pink in the ears and a little W00 in the front of the deer. Here's a look at the completed colored image. Next up, we're going to have the bear. This is the last one I'm going to color. And I use the YRs for the bear. I love my YR Copic markers. There's just some markers that are hard to blend. Like I feel like violets are really hard to blend, the V's, and there's just some that don't play nice, like greens I can never do, but the YRs are just beautiful to blend. I love all of the YR quadruple, triple, 00, YR01, YR02. I love all of them because they just blend so beautifully. It takes no effort to blend them, and I just think this color is really easy on the eyes. I just kind of love that mango, peach, orange kind of color. So I'm just doing the same type of coloring that I've been doing. And this little baby bear is so cute because he has a diaper on. It's so adorable. I forgot to take a shot of the completed colored image, but you'll see it come back again later. I did pre-make 4 of the Display a Card mechanisms, and I did ink blend all of the different pieces. I used the 80-pound Neenah paper for all of the mechanisms, and I ink blended them with various colors of Distress Oxide ink, and here are the different colors that I used for reference. So for the first card, I'm going to do my bunny, and I'm using that cloud there, and it's so easy to adhere because it has that little tab that you can adhere to the front of the panel. And then I'm just doing just different clouds everywhere, and I like how there's a lot of different layers that you can create. I only did one landscape piece because I wanted these to be very simple. And I did use all of the different sentiments, and I used the 3D arch banner to stamp all the sentiments. I did curve the sentiments a little bit to follow the banner, and I did stamp all the sentiments in the rich cocoa ink because I wanted it to match the images that I stamped out. So that's the first card. I love it. The next card, we're doing the deer, and here I've decided to use the trees, and I just ink blended it with walnut stain, which I believe this is the first time I'm using my walnut stain distress oxide ink. I don't typically use that to ink blend. And then I'm just using that cloud shape as the tree topper. And these are just very simple cards. I kind of wanted them to just be really simple and light. And these look so fantastic when you stand them up because there's a lot of dimension. I decided to only use one landscape piece, but you can definitely use more than one if you like. And I just love how you have so many options with putting your different elements in. Here we are doing that bear. And I did use an extra piece from a different die set. Since this says "You Are My Sunshine," I wanted to add a little sunshine sun die cut. And I did get that die cut from an older Mama Elephant die set called Stitch Sky. Here is that little die cut. I just love the sentiment, and I love just the yellow of the card. I really love that one. Here is the last one. Here is my koala. And then I'm using the tree elements here just to add a couple of trees in his little landscape. And I just did all the little landscapes in just like lighter colors. I didn't want to use brown for everything. I just kind of wanted to keep it to like nursery kind of colors. So I'm adding my two little trees here. And this was so super fun to do because I pre-made all of the bases and it was just easy to pop everything in all at once. So I did do this kind of assembly line style. So that's it. I'm calling these cards done. Here's a look at the cards that we made. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give this video a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the Mama Elephant YouTube channel and tap on that bell to get notified of future videos. I hope you join me tomorrow. We are going to do a zodiac snake. Thank you so much for watching and happy crafting. Bye, guys.